Photography Chat with Merlin. Photography Chat with Merlin.
Welcome to another episode of the Photography Chat. We're season 3, episode 21, and we're being joined by Nicole Marsden out of Toronto. Do you want to say hi to everyone?
Hi, everyone.
So I ran into you in Kensington Market when I was in Toronto recently, and you were playing around with a Polaroid. You want to talk about how you got into photography and what interests you about it, or?
So I got my first film camera from the thrift store for $5 when I was 18, and I've been taking pictures on film ever since. It's been almost 9 years.
That's awesome. What kind of camera did you find in the thrift store?
It's a Nikon EM.
Okay.
You probably haven't heard of it.
No, I've heard of the EM. That's a good score for $5.
Yeah.
That was like it was sort of like a base level like SLR, right?
Yeah.
That's
you can't do like every SLR thing with it, but it's an SLR.
That's pretty cool. So do you still just use that one EM, or have you gotten the like total camera addiction and ended up buying a bunch of other stuff since then?
Yeah, I have several cameras. I don't use that one anymore.
Oh. What's your favorite camera now? Oh.
Contact ep21.
Oh, shit. Okay. That's a pretty sweet camera.
I'll show you.
Oh, you're buffering there. Are you still with us? Sorry, folks. Looks like we're having some technical difficulties. Is it my internet? Can you guys still? Oh, we lost her. Let's see if we can get her back. Hey, sorry about that. I'm not sure what happened.
I'm not sure either.
So you're just showing us some of your new cameras there. I saw that contacts before you dropped off. That is sweet. I'm guessing you didn't find that for $5 in a thrift store.
No.
Where'd you pick
that
that
up? It was a gift.
Oh, is it? That's awesome. That's a very nice gift.
Yeah. It's really good for urban exploring because it's so discreet.
So is that the kind of photography you like to do the most then?
Yeah.
Cool. How did you get into the urban exploring?
I've been into it like my whole life. Like I've just always been attracted to abandoned places. Like they're just so beautiful. Like it's hard to describe. It's the like very deep feeling that it makes me feel. So yeah.
Like I'm kind of curious because I like enjoying abandoned places too, like exploring and I enjoy exploring abandoned places also. And I think I might know the feeling you talk a bit about. Is it like kind of like a curiosity of like who had been there before and like what had happened there before and things like that?
Yeah, I like it when I see pictures on the internet where it shows like the place in its heyday and then the abandoned version.
Well, pretty soon you might be able to experience some of that, going to places that you used to frequent that could end up abandoned in the not so distant future.
Yeah, a lot of bowling places are becoming abandoned.
Hey, bowling? Like bowling alleys?
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, I never really thought about that. But like bowling alleys were around so much when I was a little kid. Like everyone did bowling. Even if you didn't
Yeah.
like bowling, you did bowling. But you don't really see that as often anymore.
Yeah.
So what are some of the more interesting favorite places you've explored so far?
So last weekend I went to several locations. I went to several houses, and one of them had like tons of stuff left behind, like clothes in the closet and stuff. And I also went to an abandoned college that was in the middle of nowhere. It's really cool, but I didn't get in.
Oh, it was all
But
locked up, or?
yeah, like I explored around one building and it was all locked up, and I got kind of spooked, so I just didn't explore the other buildings.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So you have like an exploring crew that you go out and check these places out with, or?
Not a crew, but I always go with somebody.
That's a smart idea.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
It can be. Yeah, I have gotten in a few dicey situations exploring places where I was glad that other people were there with me. Otherwise, it could have not been great.
Yeah, on the weekend when I went into one of the houses, there was someone upstairs.
Like someone just hanging out in the abandoned house?
Well, I didn't go upstairs, but I heard the footsteps.
Oh, holy shit.
Probably a homeless person.
I'm guessing these are in like around Toronto, or like sort of more out into the, like the suburbs and stuff.
It was in St. Thomas, Ontario.
I've never been out that way before.
Near London.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
There's something neat about wandering around like old abandoned places and exploring them, and just getting a sense for like maybe what used to be there, sort of feeling of the place. Sometimes the smells of the place like are kind of, add to the whole experience. Sometimes not great.
Yeah. Where have you explored?
Oh man, so a bunch of places in British Columbia. I didn't really get a chance to do a whole lot when I was in Toronto. But it's some old insane asylums. Those were super freaky. You could definitely feel that something not good happened there. I've been in a couple of old residential schools when I was younger. Also equally creepy. Not good feels in those ones. There still might be a few buildings left, but there was like an old abandoned military base outside of Kamloops where I lived with my family for a while. And that was pretty cool to explore too.
I tried to get into an abandoned psychiatric hospital not too long ago, but it was all boarded up.
So it was hard to get into.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's for the best. Those places are really creepy.
That's true.
But it's kind of interesting to like, check them out and whatnot. Old houses are weird. Like last summer, it wasn't necessarily an abandoned house, but I went into this house that a friend of mine was helping the family like clean up. I guess it'd been like the parents lived there. They passed away and all their stuff was there. And it was just kind of surreal, like walking around these people's lives while a bunch of strangers just sort of like picked at it and was trying to look for things that were valuable to like make money off of and then just like throw the rest of it out. And yeah, it was just weird like seeing like all of their stuff and their like kid stuff from when they were kids, and just like a couple of generations of like a family in this house that just a bunch of random people were rifling through. Oh, there you go. You're back now. So is there any other things you like to shoot other than like abandoned places or? I think we're having some Wi-Fi problems here. Oh, we'll see if she comes back. Sorry about that, folks. We're just having some technical difficulties today.
Hello?
Welcome back.
I don't know what happened.
Oh, that's all right. So other than like abandoned places, is there any other kinds of things that you like to shoot a lot, or?
I like to shoot like street art, and I like just walking around and stumbling upon things. Like I posted pretty recently this Virgin Mary statue with no head. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was the ones that you shared with me to post, which I really liked. And was that with like an expired film or?
Yeah.
That's cool. Where do you find
That's
your?
Pretty much what I always use.
Oh, so you'd like to just shoot exclusively expired film? Uh-oh. The internet's buffering today. Sorry, folks. We'll get her back here. It's always something funny with the chat. Hey, Sarah, what's up? Welcome back again.
Hello?
Hey, you're there. So where do you...
I do mostly shoot expired films, and now.
Sorry, was that?
I do mostly shoot expired films.
Okay. I think you're having some connection problems there, Nicole. Maybe you need to be closer to your Wi-Fi. Okay, we'll have to try again. Hey.
Hi.
It sounds like it looks like you're having some trouble with your Wi-Fi today.
I guess. I don't know what's happening.
No worries. Someone's like, is this an expired connection?
That's funny.
That's well played. Good work, Neo. And then Derek also said, North America's first commercial oil well was in Ontario, a place called Oil Springs, and down the road, Petrolia. Someone should go and capture on film. That's cool.
Yeah, I should go there.
Have you ever explored those places?
No.
Oh, maybe there's a couple more for you to check out.
Yeah.
So where do you find your expired film from?
I find it on eBay.
Okay. And has it been like going up in price a lot, or?
Not really. It's pretty cheap.
Well, that's good that it's still pretty cheap. That's like one way to like beat the Kodak prices, right?
Beat the Kodak prices?
Oh, because like new Kodak film is so expensive. Sorry, what were you going to say before that?
Oh, Um, well, you never know what's going to happen. It could be a waste of a roll, this expired film. So it shouldn't be too expensive.
Have you had many expired film rolls go bad on you, or?
Yeah, last time one of them it turned out just blue and white, like black and white, but blue and white.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I'm not going to use any of them for anything.
Was it supposed to be color film?
Yeah.
Crazy. I wonder what it made it.
It's happened before, once before.
Huh. I wonder what makes it do that. That's a really crazy color combo.
Yeah. I don't know.
Out of the photos you sent me there, though, I really like that headless nun one. But then I was really curious about the one that looks like is that the Great Wall of China?
No,
Okay.
not the Great Wall of China. It's in Portugal. It's just some random castle in this city called Sintra. There's like several castles, and that's one of them.
It's such a cool, like, moody photo, though. Like, I really liked how it turned out because just the way the film must have aged or something, it just gives it this, like, sort of, like, brooding, moody feel to it.
It was foggy. So
Okay.
that added to it.
That's really cool.
I used an infrared disposable camera.
Oh, nice. So that would have been probably like HP5 or XP2, like one or the other, right?
I think it's the green one.
Okay, so that would have been the HP5 one. That's cool. Those disposable cameras are a lot of fun. I really like messing around with them.
Same.
How long were you in Portugal for?
Just over a week.
That's cool. I'm guessing that was before COVID times.
It was, yeah.
Now that like COVID's winding down a bit, any plans to go on any like travel adventures anywhere to take photos of things, or?
So far, nothing too exciting. Just plans within Ontario for now.
That's cool. Well, if
Yeah.
you like Polaroid, I definitely recommend trying to check out Texas the last weekend in September going into October. In Denton and Dallas, there's like a big thing called Polycon, which is put on by the Instant Film Society. And it's like a whole weekend celebration of like Polaroids and stuff. And like people fly in from all over the States and sometimes Canada to go check it out.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's a lot
Is
of fun.
that where you live?
No, I live in Vancouver.
Oh, okay.
So I used to live in Toronto, but then the pandemic happened, and I missed my family because I'm originally from the West Coast and was just living in Toronto for just about 5 years for work. And yeah, with COVID and everything, just decided to move back to British Columbia to be closer to family. Does that, so you've always been in Toronto then, or?
Well, I'm actually in Windsor right now,
Oh, cool.
but I'm from Toronto.
So you're living out in Windsor now, or?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
I've been living here for several years, but I still like identify as a Torontonian.
Well, it's just a lucky chance then to run into you in Kensington Market that weekend.
Yeah, my family lives in Toronto,
Oh, that's cool. Derek wants to know.
so I'm there often.
Oh, it's good that you get into Toronto often. Derek wants to know what your favorite cameras are.
Well, this one's number one.
The Contax, yeah, that would definitely be number one.
And then I like this one.
Which one's that?
Minolta Xc1.
Oh, nice.
The reason why I like it is because it has light leaks, and I like that look.
It can be a very cool look when you get light leaks and they hit in a really good way.
Yeah. And I guess my third, this one, it's Canon AE1.
That's a classic. I've got an AE1. I think that was the one that you had along with the Polaroid that weekend.
Yeah.
The AE1's a classic. You can't go wrong with that one.
Yeah, and I've used the Pentax K1000 a lot, which is also a classic.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that swear by the K1000. I've never fucked with one. I've always been a bit of like a Nikon whore, but I've heard good things about it.
Yeah.
And then I noticed in the profile picture that you sent out, and also in the background of your video there, you have a guitar. So you play like in bands or just for fun, or?
Sure.
Oh, sorry, I lost you there. You broke up a bit. Okay, well, let's see if she comes back. Sorry about all the technical difficulties tonight, everyone. The joy of doing this stuff live, I guess.
I probably should have unplugged and then plugged in my Wi-Fi before doing this.
Do you want to take a minute to go do that, or?
Sure, I'll try it.
Okay. Go try and reboot your Wi-Fi, and I will amuse everyone for a few minutes.
Okay.
All right. How's everyone's week going? I took a film photography class, and all 4 people had an AE1. Yeah, the AE1s are fantastic cameras. You can't really go wrong with them. I quite enjoy the AE1 that I have. Hey, Paul, thanks for joining in. Kodak put a half frame out? No, I've not seen that, Derek. All right. Hopefully this works a little bit better this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so before I lost you the last time there, I was a bit curious about the guitar and stuff, because you had that in your profile picture, and also noticed in the background there you've got a guitar behind you. And so do you play in bands or just for fun, or?
I just play for fun.
That's cool. How long have you been playing for?
Since I was 15.
Okay. What kind of stuff do you like playing?
Lana Del Rey.
That's fun.
Do you play?
I haven't in a long time, but yeah, I used to play bass in some punk bands when I was much younger, and still play guitar sometimes, but definitely miss being in bands. It was a lot of fun. Like playing at shows and like hanging out at shows. And I often wish that I was into photography when I was doing the band stuff, because it would have been cool to have like film photos of all that stuff instead of like just brain photos that seem to sort of like fade away as you get older.
Yeah. I actually have a bass right here. I'll show you.
Oh, sweet. What kind of bass is that?
Fender?
Oh, damn. It's a Fender Jazz?
I think so. Yeah, jazz.
That's so cool. How long have you been playing that?
I got this a really long time ago, and I don't play it ever. It's really dusty.
Did you ever
I
play?
should probably.
Did you think about playing bass at some point and just like decided not to, or?
Well, I do love the sound of the bass in songs, especially if it's really heavy, but it's not as fun for me to play, even though I really like the sound of it.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer guitar.
Yeah, with most music, like bass kind of gets like relegated into the background to just sort of be like just the rhythm section kind of thing. But there are some bands out there where it's like bass is like the main focus, and those are kind of cool. Like one of my favorite ones for that is Primus. Les Claypool does some like really crazy shit with his bass guitar. And he's like the lead instrument in there. Like the guitars like support him instead of the other way around. And yeah, he was always kind of like a bit of like one of my bass guitar idols when I was a kid slapping the bass.
Cool.
Yeah, music's a lot of fun to like get into. I definitely miss like jamming with people, and you know, maybe now that COVID's relaxing a little bit more or something, could maybe get more into that.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Do you have any like projects you've been planning with your photography, or you know, things that you've done with it already that you've been stoked about?
Well, I have plans to explore more abandoned places this weekend and the next weekend. And I was thinking of making a photo book out of all the abandoned places. So maybe I'll do that.
That sounds like a fantastic idea. I'd definitely pick up a copy of that.
Yeah.
That one photo that you sent that has like the heavy light leak in it, then in the like factory space or something, was that with the Minolta that has the light leaks?
No, that was with the Pentax K1000, and I used psychedelic blues film, so there's like light leaks exposed to the film.
Okay.
Before you buy it.
Crazy. I've never messed with that film before.
It's one of my favorites.
That's cool. So you really like having like sort of like funky images and stuff like that?
Yes.
Cool. What have been some of your favorite images you've taken outside of like the headless nun?
Well, the pictures I posted recently at the abandoned church, I really like those pictures.
Let's take a look. Oh man. Was that with Metropolis or with Lemo Purple?
No. It's with Expired.
Crazy. It almost looks like Lomo Purple a little bit.
Well, I can show you the exact kind. This is the exact kind. It always turns out purple.
Crazy. I've never heard of that
but
kind
not
before.
Too purple. It's really good.
That's very cool. Yeah,
I like this kind.
I mean, you can't go wrong with Cinestill 800. It's a great film. Did you get into the backing for the Cinestill 400D? lost her again. Sorry, everybody. You're back. Did you get in on the Kickstarter for the Cinestill 400D?
What did you say?
Oh, you're still buffering. Let's see if you come back. Sorry, everybody. I guess rebooting the Wi-Fi didn't help. Hello again.
Hi.
No, I was just curious if you got in on the Kickstarter for the Cinestill 400D.
I didn't, but I really wanted to. Did you?
I didn't get on the. Well, I got like one roll of the early bird stuff that just came in, so I got to go pick that up from my U.S. post box this weekend. But I got some of the other, I bought some of the 120 and 35 mil. That's not going to come out till like later this year, but pretty excited to try it out.
The one that comes in the purple packaging, right?
Yeah, the purple guy.
What's different about it?
So the 800T is a tungsten balanced one, so it's more like suited for like shooting with with tungsten lighting. But the 400 is daylight balanced, so is more well rounded for just like shooting during the day and stuff. Which, I mean, I shoot 800 all the time in the daytime, and I like the effect that you get from it because it kind of like washes out and gets these really cool colors because the color balance is like a little bit off. But the 400 it should look a little more truer. And some of the sample photos they posted look freaking awesome. So I'm pretty stoked to try it because I like the 50D I've shot a lot, which is a really great daylight film. Even though it's 50 ISO, you get some really beautiful colors from it, and it has a really cool richness to it. If you've never tried it, I definitely recommend trying a roll, but shoot it when you're going to be somewhere sunny.
I've never tried that one.
It's a cool one. It comes in the blue packaging.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've always wanted to try it. I probably will sometime soon.
Yeah, and the XX is also really cool. That's the black and white film. And that has just a really cool like tonality to it. Like the blacks just come out really nice, and it's just a really smooth looking film. It's one of my favorite black and whites to shoot. And you can get it from Cinestill as the XX, or Downtown Camera is doing their own rolling of it now, which looks pretty good. And then Downtown Camera is also doing two other films that are kind of cool. They've got Prototype 400D, and it's should be similar to like what the Cinestill one's going to be like, but it's something that Downtown Camera is making. And then they're also doing 640T, which is a tungsten balanced one, so it'll look a little more similar to the Cinestill 800. And I've shot both of those when I was in Toronto, and those were really cool films. So if you're in Downtown Camera buying some film at any point, you should definitely check those out.
That's where I get my stuff developed.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, next time you're taking some stuff in to get it developed, you should try some of that film. I think you'd like it.
Yeah, I probably will. I haven't been actually physically there in a long time, because I've just been mailing my film there. but next time I go there.
Yeah, I've been mailing it there too. Like they'll mail you the film too. Like if you wanted to like just order some, and next time they mail your negatives back, you can get them to send some film along.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Do they still sell Fuji Natura 1600?
No.
No?
I mean, I don't know if anyone's really selling that anymore. Actually, let's double check. Let's look at the Downtown Camera website. Come on, internet. It's not looking. It's not looking good. Come on, computer. Their website is not very intuitive. Okay. 35mm color. No. They just have Superia 400 or Superia 200 or Fuji Color 200. So you might have to hit up eBay for the 1600.
Hello?
Oh, hey, you're back again. Yeah, I was just saying that it doesn't look like they've got the 1600 anymore. It looks like it's just 400 and 200, which is kind of a bummer.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Have you ever used it?
Yeah, I have. I still have a few rolls of it in the fridge that I should probably shoot sooner than later because they're a couple of years old now. I bought them when Downtown Camera was still in their old location on the block over.
When they were still where?
At their old location, a block down from where they are now.
Oh, when did they move?
Oh, fuck, like 2.5 years ago now, maybe? Something like that. Yeah, they're in the old Henry's Rental space now. So they're just down from the sketchy McDonald's on the corner of Queen and Church. And Chris says that he likes your backdrop very much.
Thank you.
Is that just like some curtains that you put trees on, or?
Yeah, it's like a tapestry with misty trees.
That's cool. Is that did you make that, or?
No, I got it on Etsy.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
So other than like photography and music, is there any other creative things that you explore or like doing?
Yeah, I make candles.
You make candles?
And I sew.
Okay. That's cool. How did you get into candle making?
Just like looking up how to do it on the internet.
That's cool. So do you sell those anywhere? Or?
Yeah, I sell them on Etsy.
Okay. What's your Etsy if anyone wants to check it out?
It's Foxy Empress Potions.
Okay. Foxy Empress Potions. So if you're looking for candles, and do you put any of your sewing stuff on there? Or?
No, I don't. I'm a beginner with the sewing stuff. I can show you something I sewed. It's
okay.
Right next to me.
Whoa.
It's a
It's a sweatshirt?
khaki green crew neck.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to make that?
So it was like a class, and it was like several hours.
That's very impressive. I can barely sew, stitch holes and stuff like that. So it's amazing to see when people can make really cool things like that.
Yeah, it's fun, but hard.
Is it? Chris says that looks like the most comfortable looking shirt ever.
It is.
That's cool. So what made you decide to try doing candle making?
Well, I've always been interested in it because I just like DIY stuff. Like, I've just always enjoyed that kind of stuff. But there was a movie that pushed me further into it. It's called The Love Witch. It's like a horror movie about this witch that's like obsessed with love, and she makes candles for a living, and I wanted to be like her character.
Okay. So is that where the potions part comes in for the Etsy?
Yeah, I used the same font from the credits in the movie for my logo.
Chris says candles are awesome light sources for moody photos too.
True.
Have you used any of your candles as props for photos at all, or?
I did take some film pictures of my candles in the recent film that I got back, but it didn't really turn out in a usable way. Like, it did look kind of cool because the flame turned out green.
Whoa.
But you couldn't really tell what you were looking at. It just wasn't that nice of a picture.
Mm.
But it had potential.
Well, you'll just have to experiment with it a little bit more then.
Yeah.
That's very cool. So other than just having like a witchy theme, do you make any of the candles for like witchy purposes?
Kind of.
Okay.
Well, it's more like the aesthetic than anything. But there's I made this candle that has frankincense and myrrh and gold flakes. And in the Bible, it says when you combine those three things, it creates magic. So I combined those three things. So maybe, but I'm not making guarantees.
Well, I mean, there's only one way to find out. You guys got to go buy one of her candles and see if magic happens when you light it. And then Chris says, how do you find those cool locations like that old church, and how do you get access to those places for photos?
So I find them online mostly. I found the church online. I found out which town it was in, and then I just looked up churches in that town, and it was such a small town that it didn't take long at all. And I didn't know I was going to be able to get in, but it was like 40 minutes away, so I just went and walked around, and then one of the doors was open. But I had to, it went down to the basement, and the basement was flooded, so it was kind of tricky.
Oh, so you had to walk through the flooded basement, or?
Yes.
Gross.
Yeah. It was only flooded by this much.
Oh, okay.
So I could just walk on my heels. But it's still pretty gross because it's probably moldy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was worth it.
Yeah. The photos of it turned out really awesome. And then Connor says that your aesthetic is the coolest.
Thank you, Connor.
And then Chris asks, is it urban exploration type stuff?
Yes, it is. So there's never guarantees that I'll be able to get in.
That's cool. I mean, the places that you have gone to have turned out really amazing though. Like, you know, looking at your what you shared and like what's on your feed, so many cool photos. Like I think if you were to make a book, there would be a lot of interest in it. Like you have a lot of really, really funky images.
Thank you.
The Jesus 2021 also kills me a little bit.
What'd you say?
The Jesus 2021 also kills me a little bit.
I like that one.
Where did you find that one?
Just stumbled upon it. It was in Michigan.
Okay. Well, that makes a lot more sense now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess that was before the border closed that you were able to go see that.
It was during.
How'd you get over the border then?
Well, you could always take a plane.
Oh, okay. So even though you like live like spitting distance from Michigan, you had to fly into it.
Yes. Doesn't really make sense.
No. Well, luckily you can go over now as long as you take a COVID test.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Yeah, and Chris says, no wonder you mentioned 1600 film because those urban exploration sites can be pretty dim.
Yeah. It's hard to get good lighting inside.
Have you thought about like using flashes and stuff for any of your stuff when you're exploring?
Yeah, I use the flash on this camera. So that's why I always bring this one.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Without a flash, it would be really hard to get good pictures.
Yeah. Sometimes a flash is absolutely necessary. And then Connor says that they have so many film cameras and really want to get back into it. And they want to know what camera you use, which has come up a few times. It's the Contax T3, right?
Contax T3.
That's a pretty bitchin' camera.
The best.
Is there any other cameras that you have on your like radar that you want to check out, or like different things you want to play with? Or
I've had this like Instamatic camera for years that I've never used. You have to like get an adapter to use 35 millimeter on it. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah. Film Photography Project makes stuff for that too.
Have you tried it at all?
I've never really fucked with the old box cameras before, but I know lots of people who have and have really enjoyed it. And Chris is wondering, do you bring many props with you for urban expedition photos, or do you just find lots of old cool stuff to set up in those photos?
I don't bring any props. I just see what's there. But honestly, I thought about bringing a prop. I felt like bringing a Ouija board into the abandoned church could be a cool picture.
That would be a really cool picture, actually.
Yeah.
But do you want to bring a Ouija board into an old abandoned church?
Well, I'm kind of scared of Ouija boards, but I wouldn't actually play.
Yeah, I mean, they're legit scary. Like, you shouldn't, they're not really something to trifle with.
No.
So it's good that you have respect of them then. So you could avoid waking something up that you don't want to hang out with. But that would be a cool
I just
problem
like,
there.
Yeah, I like the contrast of the evil with the good, you know?
Yeah, it's a good contrast.
It's a cool picture.
Derek is curious if you've ever thought about trying a medium format camera.
I've thought about it, but I'm not in a rush to, because I just enjoy 35 millimeter.
That's fair.
Do you use medium format?
I do. I got it really sucked into like gear acquisition stuff. So, I have a bit of everything. I mostly shoot 35 millimeter, but, also do shoot a good chunk of medium format, and then also have large format. So I do 4x5 and have been looking at getting an 8x10.
Is it expensive?
Yeah. As you tier up and move into like the bigger formats, like it does get a bit more expensive, and it all depends on the camera too. So like, the medium format camera I shoot the most lately is a Fuji Gw690, which is, they call it the Texas Leica. It's like a big rangefinder camera. And, that uses medium format film, and it's a 6x9 format. So it's like the same sort of, rectangle size as a 35 millimeter, just bigger. And you only get 8 shots with it. So it's like, the film's more expensive, and then you only get 8 shots out of the roll. So it's like, you know, when you start going through the film, it gets a bit more expensive. But some people like shooting the 4.5, because that's like a bit of a smaller size there, where you get more shots out of the film roll. I can't remember how many you get out of a 4.5, but that seems to be where a lot of people head, is like 4.5. But I also like shooting 6x6, which is like the square, and square is a lot of fun.
What do you think of 110 film?
110s are cool. So I've got like a little tiny like 110 guy, and it's like the tiniest SLR that I have, because it's just like fucking adorable. I bought it from Burlington Camera when I was driving through one day. And it was just for like shits and giggles mostly, because I was like, this thing looks ridiculous. Like, it's a little SLR that you could fit in the palm of your hand. But it takes really cool photos. And now the downtown camera is doing like the scanning for the 110. That was pretty cool too. So I've been shooting that a little bit more.
That would probably be the next type of film I would try.
Yeah, 110's cool, and Minolta makes like a really cool little like 110 SLR. I can't remember I think it's just called like the 110 Super Zoom or something like that. And you can usually find them pretty cheap. Or you could get
they sell.
Oh, sorry, was that?
You go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I saw they sell like a lot of expired 110 film on eBay, so I wanted to try that.
Yeah, and there's so many like different kinds of them that you can get, because like there's the SLR ones, and then Chris is like, yeah, 110 spy cameras. You could get those like sort of like bar kind of ones that are really cool. Yeah, 110's a lot of fun. I think you'd enjoy it.
What's disc film?
So Kodak made this thing called like the disc system. I think it was like pretty hot late 80s, early 90s, but it was like literally like a disc of film. It looked like almost like a little floppy that you put inside of like a flat looking camera. And it was smaller than 110. Like the negatives were just like super, super tiny, almost like microfilm. But Kodak was just trying to make it like more convenient and easier or whatever. It didn't live very long. Like no one.
Interesting.
No one makes film or like adapters so that you can use that format anymore. I do have like a film photography friend who's a bit of a mad scientist that likes cooking up like weird cameras and shit. And he took apart a disc and like filled it. I think he put like X-ray film in it or something, and shot it and then like developed it himself. But it was like a lot of work for shitty pictures.
I saw X-ray film on Etsy today. It looks pretty cool in the sample images.
Yeah, X-ray film can get some really interesting results. Oh, and then Connor asks, has anyone asked about the roll you posted a few years ago with the light leaks? Those turned out really cool. How did you get that effect? It was of the cliff sides.
The cliffside? So, like the ones of the beach?
I'm not sure.
Question mark? Okay, if you're talking about the ones that are in Portugal, like of the cliffs at the beach, that was not my camera doing that. That was the film, the psychedelic blues film that I used that had that effect. And I really like using that film for like epic nature. It just looks so good.
It does look really cool. Those photos like look really like surreal and almost like a fever dream, some of them.
Thank you.
And then you've got the classic You've Changed. I think everyone that like shoots film in Toronto has at least one photo of that building.
It's a vibe.
It's absolutely a vibe. So when you're in Toronto, what are your like some of your favorite places to go shooting around there?
Kensington Market, Queen Street West.
Well, which part of Queen Street West?
All of it.
That's
really.
fair.
Yeah. How about you?
Well, yeah, I mean, Kensington Market, of course. Chinatown. I really like wandering around Chinatown. The Ossington Strip, I like hanging out around there too. And it's funny, when I was visiting, I was like wandering around there and like along Dundas and College and in Queen, and stickers that I'd like put up like a few years ago are still sort of lurking about. So it kind of was like a little pleasing to be like, okay, that's neat. My fingerprint's still sticking around here.
Cool.
And I like Hamilton too. I have a bunch of like creative friends that live out in Hamilton, so I'd go out there and visit them, and I like taking photos out there too.
In Hamilton?
Yeah.
I like Hamilton too. I took pictures there too. Recently, like the recent film I got back, there's some shots in Hamilton, so I'll post those at some point.
Nice. Well, I look forward to seeing those ones. Hamilton's pretty cool. Which part of Hamilton do you like?
So one of the places I went to was the Devil's Punch Bowl. It's a waterfall.
Okay.
It kind of looks like the Grand Canyon.
Whoa.
It's really cool.
That's trippy. That sounds really cool. I like that big ass cemetery there. That one's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. Taking a bunch of pictures in there. And then like
I went to this.
Oh, sorry, what's that?
I went to this area there that reminded me of Kensington. I can't remember what it was called. Do you know that place?
No. I didn't come across any spots there that remind me of Kensington, so that sounds really cool. And Chris says, just scrolling through Nicole's photos, and holy crap, there's a pic of a 60s church that looks a lot like the church that he lives in. My friend Chris is a bit crazy, and he bought a church to move his family of like 12 people into.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I wanted to buy the church in those pictures.
Well, maybe one day you can buy a church.
The people who last abandoned it, they bought it for $1.
What?
It's for sale for $1.
Huh. I think Chris paid more than $1.
Probably.
Sorry, but they what?
They just like couldn't afford the property tax, so they ditched it.
Oh.
That's why there's a bed in the church.
Oh, okay, so they were living in there for a little while before they abandoned it.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Because I really I dig the furniture look that they've got going on in there. Like, I would totally live in that church that you shot there. Like, that would be with those big ass windows and stuff. That'd be freaking amazing.
You'd have to fix the flood situation.
Yeah. Small price to pay.
Yeah.
And then Connor says, dude, your super grainy shots in the expired film are so nice.
Thank you.
Getting a lot of love on your photos tonight. They are pretty great.
What were you going to say about your friend and his church?
Oh. So yeah, Chris is like a super old friend, and like, you know, when I moved to Toronto, he road tripped with me from Edmonton to Toronto, and I just love hanging out with the guy. But he recently bought a church to get out of Edmonton because, like he said here, he paid less than a new car for the church, and where he's building his office is where the altar used to be. Which I find is kind of funny that, like, you know, he's making his office the altar.
I do the same.
Yeah, why not? It's the power of position, like, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas he says the church in Detroit with all the rectangular colored glass windows is really similar to his windows. I think I saw the Detroit one.
Which one?
The church in Detroit with the round windows.
I don't remember.
And he says his neighbor, the mayor, heard him playing Slayer on his guitar the other day.
Amazing.
Chris is older than me, so, like, you know, he loves Slayer. So when you said you're thinking about putting a book together, like what kind of stuff were you thinking of putting into it? Just like mostly your street stuff or the abandoned stuff, or?
Yeah, mostly the abandoned stuff, but I'd probably include other stuff too, because I just think it's more interesting with the other stuff too. So probably like everything, but like it'll mostly be abandoned. Because I mostly shoot abandoned, so yeah.
Yeah, you've got so many rad photos here of the abandoned stuff. Sorry, I was wrong. He said rectangular windows, not circular. That was my bad. Chris says, oh my God, do a book. Books are our friends. I'm a huge fan of, like, you know, encouraging people to make books and, like, you know, doing books myself, because it's all well and cool to, like, share stuff on Instagram, but it's a lot more fun to, like, you know, put something into print that, like, people can pick up and hold, and, you know, you don't have to, like, pass a phone around or, like, get someone to go to your, like, Instagram to check out photos.
How many books have you made?
I've made 3 so far, and I've got another 3 or 4 that I'm kind of they're in like various stages of being put together. Yeah, and then I'm part of the Northern Film Collective, and Becca puts together like a yearly sort of annual of all of the members' photos, and so we're a bit behind on volume 2 this year, just like with everything that's been going on, but that's going to be getting put together probably this summer, and then we'll put out a call for submissions for volume 3. So if you don't follow Northern Film Collective yet, definitely check it out. Give a follow, and Oh,
photo book for. I've never.
sorry, I lost you there.
I've never heard of film.
Are you still there?
Yeah.
Okay, you're back. So you say you never heard of the Northern Film Collective?
What is?
Sorry, everybody. We'll give her a minute to buffer here. Hey, Maddie. Kind of maybe back? Maybe. Not quite yet. I know. Internet connection misadventures. Stop all the downloading. Hey kid, I'm a computer. Help computer. It looks like you're coming back a little bit more.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
I can hear you.
Excellent. So you're saying you haven't heard of the Northern Film Collective before?
Right.
Well, I'll send you a link to the profile there, but it's like a Canadian sort of film group where my friend Becca started it a few years ago with the idea of sharing more Canadian content, because there's lots of pages and feeds that share like a lot of like photos from other places, but there wasn't much from like Canadian photographers. And she also puts together like a book every year. We did the first one last year and we're working on a second one, but we just put out a call for submissions to photographers all around Canada to share photos and get them put into a book. And it was a lot of fun.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I'll definitely send that over to you there. But yeah,
I'll check it out.
definitely. Chris was saying that prints and books are so much more fun, and he can see that a lot of your photos would also be cool as postcards.
Yeah, I saw a postcard for sale in a Toronto boutique that had the same picture that I took before.
Oh, crazy.
And it was better.
Well, maybe
it's like a church beside a strip club.
That's kind of amazing. Where was that?
Yeah.
Where did you find the church and strip club combo?
It's like Lansdowne.
So did you say Lansdowne and Bloor? Okay. Maybe I'll just give her another minute to buffer here.
Lansdowne and
Lansdowne and Bloor? All right. Well, if you're in Toronto and you want to check out a combo strip joint and church, take a look around Lansdowne and Bloor. Okay. You still with us there? Okay. We'll try and get her in one more time. And sorry about that, everybody. Darn internet connection problems. Oh, it doesn't look like we're getting her back on this one. So thank you everyone for like tuning in and hanging out.
Hi.
Oh, are you there? Hey, you're back. And you're buffering. Hello? Okay. Well, it looks like her internet has finally bit the biscuit. So I'm going to call it here. Thanks everyone for tuning in and hanging out with us and dealing with the technical difficulties. Love and appreciate all you guys. Let Mr. Mocha walk us out here. So thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Chat. Next week, I'm going to have Andy Odom on with us, broadcasting from Denton, Texas, part of the Instant Film Society. So it'll be good to catch up with Andy and talk some Polaroids. And thank you so much, Nicole, for being part of this. It was really cool to learn about all the different things that you're working on. And I'm really excited about the book. And if you need a hand with the book or anything like that, feel free to reach out to me anytime. I would be happy to help out. And stay safe out there, everyone, and take care. All right, bye.